The material I'm using in this bowl is classified as an engineered lumber. Engineered lumber is often used in construction because of its strength and stability. It also has the added benefit of using logs that are unsuitable for solid lumber. Laminated veneer lumber, oriented strand board, particle board, and plywood are all examples of engineered lumbers. For this bowl, I'm using scrap LVL, which I got from my job on a construction site. I start by cutting two 10-inch wide strips to be the main body of the bowl. I use the offcuts as material to make a segmented rim in the middle of the bowl. I still needed a little more material for my segmented ring, so I cut a few strips off this other piece of LVL. The adhesive and outer coating on the material will dull cutting tools. Instead of using the jointer or planer, I dress the surfaces on the table saw. After I'm finished ripping the strips, I swap in a better blade so I can cut the segment to length. I use a segment cutting jig to cut the pieces I will use for the ring. A piece of paper allows me to move the cut piece away without getting my hands too close to the blade. Next, I glue up the pieces into a ring. Even with the accuracy of the jig, my segments didn't turn out quite perfect. I'm going to leave the two halves separate and sand them parallel later. In the meantime, I use a pair of pine wedges to shim the pieces to where I need them. While I wait for the glue to dry, I cut the two 10-inch pieces to round on the bandsaw. And wouldn't you know it, I snap the blade. About 10 minutes later, I have a new blade on the bandsaw and I'm able to finish my cuts. On the ring is now dry enough for me to sand the faces flat and glue the full ring together. I prepare all the pieces to be glued together by sanding the mating faces flat. I could run these through the drum sander, but the yellow coating clogs sandpaper, and it's easier to replace a 12-inch disc than the sanding paper on the drums. I let the glue cure overnight. Then I mount the blank on the lathe and start shaping the outside of the bowl. The LVL is incredibly hard on the cutting edge, so I'm using a scraper, which is easy to sharpen as much as possible. I'm going to point out that I've been wearing my respirator the entire time. With all the adhesives in the wood, I wasn't taking any chances. When it came time to hollow the inside of the bowl, I decided to save wear on my tools by simply parting out the middle of the upper disc. I was pleasantly surprised by how smooth a cut I was able to get on the segmented portion of the bowl, but it's now giving me trouble because I'm getting a lot of vibration while I'm working on the rim. It took me quite a while to hollow out the inside of the bowl, and I had to use a weird stance at one point to get the working angle I needed. But I did eventually get the piece shaped to my liking without it exploding. In the end, I was completely surprised by how well the bowl turned out. About halfway through the sanding, I noticed some tear out on the inside of the bowl. You can also still see a little bit of glue here. I decided that I'd only stand a chance of making it worse, and it kind of goes with the aesthetic of the LVL. Thanks for watching. If you want to keep tabs on my upcoming videos, be sure to subscribe by clicking the red button below. You can also keep up to date with me on Facebook, Instagram, and Etsy.